Welcome to the CrossFit Max podcast.
What is going on, team? And thank you for tuning in. All right, in this episode, we are going to be talking about the biggest misconceptions about CrossFit or even about starting CrossFit. Now, I know a lot of you are already CrossFitters, and if you get some good value, then I want you to share this episode with someone. And if you have been shared this episode and you don't do CrossFit, I want you to try to listen to this episode with an open mind. I think you'll get a ton of value and it could potentially change the rest of your life. So we hope that you dig this episode and let's get into it.
Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, folks.
What's going on, team?
To your favorite podcast with your favorite person and Brandon.
Susie and Brandon kicking things off here for you guys. Hopefully you guys are having a fantastic day wherever you are in the world, wherever you are listening. Buckle up. We got a good episode ahead. At least I hope so.
I mean, that's pretty bold to say since we haven't done it yet.
Haven't done it yet.
Did you tell them that last week we almost lost our episode? Was it last week?
It was last week. Yes, there is.
We almost had to do that one twice.
Something scary about finishing and clicking stop recording and then just seeing
blank.
The audio just buffer and buffer and buffer. And then for 5 minutes you have a heart attack and then you start to panic and you start to stress and you're like, all right, I guess I don't know how we're going to do this. We got to do it again. And anyways, in the end, it worked out. Shout out technology for being.
Thank God you didn't have to
great.
listen to us have that conversation twice.
Yeah. But yeah, banter topic, my love.
My love.
I wanted to ask you you ever find yourself coaching classes and bringing in outside world or life stuff into your class. Like, I'll give the example.
Probably, yes.
I'll give 2 examples. One is I'll be referring to our little Tommy, our almost 2 years old, and now 2 weeks from today.
Just baby.
2 weeks from today, it's gonna be 2 years old. And anyways, there's 2 fun moments that I had experienced last night while coaching when you brought him to the gym, and then also when I was coaching this morning. Number 1, when I was coaching last night, we have client Liv at the gym here, who's freaking awesome. If you haven't heard her episode, you got to scroll on back.
Go find
not
it.
Not that long ago, probably a couple months back. And anyways, Tommy loves Liv.
Livy.
And he calls her Livy. And all class yesterday when Liv was doing the 5 p.m., all I wanted to do was call her Livy the whole time. Like she was doing a movement and I wanted to be like, Livy.
Yeah, I know.
And yeah, and I was also referring to, we were doing back rack lunges yesterday. And I was talking about, making sure your back foot doesn't cross directly behind your front foot or else you're off balance. And I used the example of Tommy being in gymnastics when he's on the balance beam.
Aww.
So I talked about, I was referring to that and the balance beam and why the balance beam is so hard because you have to, step in one foot in front of the other and it's a very narrow plank. So if you're doing lunges with a barbell on your back and you're stepping and crossing your foot over, well, it's going to be freaking hard to balance yourself.
Right.
So anyways, I referred to that. And then this morning when I was coaching the snatches,
Tommy is really good at doing a snatch.
He is pretty good, yeah. He's got that
squat depth.
He definitely has the squat depth, but he does the what do you call it? The recycling roll or from
you have wrapping paper on the little roll. We use that as his barbell.
Yeah, but this morning I was telling everybody in the snatches that the main focus of the snatch today is going to be a fast turnover. So really just turning over the bar and catching the bar with your elbows locked out versus when we're slower and we turn the bar over slowly and then we have to press out the bar. It's not very efficient. It's not the way to perform the movement either. And it gets really hard the heavier you get with that. So I brought it up to the class that Tommy's favorite word right now is faster. So I said that all class today, our main focus is going to be fast on the elbows and a very fast turnover. So I said, literally, my cueing to most of you guys today is going to be faster.
It's so funny because my parents were talking about this the other day, how we have started to speak in Thomas-isms. So like if someone asks me a question and I want to say that my answer is yes, it's not yes anymore. It's yes. Because that's what Tommy says.
How does he say yellow? Lello?
Lello.
So yeah, that's what I want to ask you. Do you ever find yourself coaching or, working out and doing the, like bringing in, it doesn't even have to be Tommy related. It could be just life related work. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like often you can apply certain things to daily life tasks or, make in a joke, but it's very relevant about, I don't know, being able to bring all your groceries in the house in one go and stuff like that. I can't think of like a specific example like right now.
Grocery bag is definitely one.
I feel that I often will feel the need to apply CrossFit outside in my real world.
Yeah.
Like
cool.
when I use like CrossFit as an analogy with, discussions with, I don't know, Malice at work because she gets it, you know, or,
You hook gripping the steering wheel?
Yeah, I definitely hook grip my grocery cart 100% of the time. Highly recommend doing that, guys, to get used to it. It's the right width.
Wow. So turn it around on me. You actually bring CrossFit outside the gym more often.
Yeah, and cool. Also like the same way you try and to like, in CrossFit you set a goal and you have to show up consistently and all of those things. Like I try to sometimes apply that in my regular day-to-day life, like giving myself a goal, giving myself to focus on like remembering that, you don't learn how to do bar muscle up by trying it one time. So in life, you're not going to learn how to do like a new skill or, if you're going through maybe like a mentally difficult time or something, you have to flex that muscle, that positivity muscle outside just like you would inside the gym. So I feel like I totally pivoted your question away from what you asked.
I love it. Turn it around.
I feel that more often than not, I feel that I use CrossFit analogies outside the gym.
Yeah.
And of course, I try really hard to like loop real life into when we're working out in the gym. And, it happens all the time. Like, I'm like, oh, would you want to be able to carry your kid out of a burning building? Like these are all real life things that can be motivators inside the gym or like, do all your Costco groceries in one run and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But
you're not doing 2 trips with these bags.
Ain't no way. And like, there's a heavy walk from our car to our apartment door because we live in an apartment building.
Yeah.
And I refuse. And there was a huge chapter in life where I did all the groceries in one run and Tommy in one arm.
Yeah.
What a flex. Now at least Tommy can walk. So that reduces, but he walks very slowly. So then you're doing a really long farmer hold or whatever while you're trying to coax him.
Mama, slow.
I'm like, come on, Tommy, race, mama.
He's starting to get it now. Now he does the race in the hallways. He's like, no, race. And I'm like, okay, 3, 2, 1, go. And then faster.
Or I have like all the groceries in my hand, and he decides like this is the one time he wants to go a piece. I'm like, Mama, don't got no extra hands, and you are not 2 pounds no more, son. Yeah. But anyway, so I feel like I apply CrossFit a lot on my outside life, even just like internally, reminding myself like I flex my muscles to get stronger. I strengthen myself in order to be able to perform a heavier back squat. So I need to practice whatever life skill that I'm trying to get better at outside the gym in order to see an improvement.
Let's just say this last 24 hours, and maybe not last 20, more like last 12 hours, my outside life is being reminded from the inside of CrossFit because my glutes are absolutely smashed from those back rack lunges from yesterday.
It hurts so bad to sit on my own butt, and sitting on my butt is one of my favorite activities.
I was demoing to our 12 p.m. High Rocks how to do an alternating V-up, and just going from that standing position to my bum on the ground, I was like, oh.
I know. It's so good. There's nothing more enjoyable in my entire life than having a really sore bum.
Yep.
Last week I wasn't able to make it for the lunges, and Malice was at work complaining about her bum, and I was like, oh, I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
I want a sore booty.
Yeah.
Because it's like you feel your butt lift happening literally overnight. You're like, we don't got no saggy booties around here, guys.
No saggy
Those booties, those CrossFit Max booties are tight.
They are very tight.
Anyways.
And they're going to get tighter over this next 12-week cycle because we're doing a lot of unilateral
There's
leg
a reason
pushing.
that CrossFit Max is known for their booties.
Yep.
Built by Brandon.
Built by Brandon. All right. So
Okay. On that super.
I want to transition to our topic. And the topic was brought up based
not giving
on...
it away.
What's that?
I was about to say the topic and then I didn't want to steal your thunder.
We're going to talk about misconceptions today. But the reason I thought about this is because literally an hour ago, I had this wonderful woman walk into the gym.
Aww.
She was like, I don't know, 25 years old. And I seen her, if you guys don't know CrossFit Max, there's a pizza shop right next, like literally 6 feet away from our door. And I see her come out with someone and they go into their car. And then I see her come back to CrossFit Max and open the door. And I was doing some work at the front desk. So she comes in and I was like, oh, hi, how's it going? And she came in, she was very nice, very polite. And she was like, oh, is this like a regular gym or is this only CrossFit? And I had the conversation with her about it. You know, it's just CrossFit. We do high rocks here as well. But, you know, everything we do here is coached in a group and, you know, wonderful, wonderful lady. And she was telling me that she's like, oh, like I'm really looking for something very beginner. You know, I dislocated my knee about a month ago.
Damn.
And I asked her like, well, what happened? Like, how did you dislocate your knee and how are you doing? How are you feeling?
Very painful.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, I was hiking. And I was like, oh, ouch.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
and then like, how do you get down? Anyways, okay, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely brutal. Yeah. Yeah. So anyways, I had a great conversation with her, but you can tell that this girl was like, oh, it's just CrossFit. Like
it's not for me.
Yeah. Like I'm not fit enough to start. And I was explaining to her that like, hey, like this is what we do. Like we start people. This is what we do best. Like we start with people who are, you know, either unfit or at a certain part of their life, or maybe they're dealing with injuries and things like that,
right.
Or just people who are wanting to bring their fitness to the next level. So we work with each and every single person who starts CrossFit, because everybody starts CrossFit at CrossFit. Rarely do people do CrossFit before starting CrossFit.
No, it's sometimes they've done CrossFit elsewhere, but they started CrossFit somewhere.
Yeah. Or or they have like, you know, they've done like strength and conditioning in sports, but that's very rare. Like most people just get into CrossFit being like,
most adults haven't done weightlifting before they come into the gym, for example. Yeah.
So I had a great conversation, but you could see like she was like really scared, and she was like, oh, like, I don't know, like I'm not ready to sign up yet. I'm not fit enough, and like with my knee and stuff. And it was a good conversation I had with her, but it was interesting.
You have to push her boundaries on like her preconceived notions of what it is.
Yeah, it was interesting because she wants to get in shape and she wants to get fit and
all the things that we could do for her.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. And it's 1:30-ish p.m. on a Tuesday afternoon. And this girl who wants to get in shape is like now is actually too scared of CrossFit, is walking out of a pizza shop, not wanting to start CrossFit because they're worried that CrossFit is going to be, you know, bad for them.
Yeah.
Versus like this is where like our mindset for most people's health is just skewed in so many different ways that they like
without even realizing.
This person truly believes that like, you know, I'm
she's more likely to get injured coming to CrossFit than
she's like in her head she's like, I don't know, like starting CrossFit is like not the right thing for me and it's like too intense and I'm not fit enough, but like going home and eating a pizza is going to be the thing to do on like a Tuesday afternoon. And I'm like, that thing of like what you're doing right now is what's really bad for your knee and what's really bad for your health, and that's the things that we need to be like trying to avoid in life from an average person. And it was just kind of like an aha moment that like, you know what, there's still so much
education that needs to happen
and misconceptions about CrossFit. And I mean, that's what we do by
I feel like,
having conversations with people every single day. Like I had a wonderful conversation with her, and hopefully I think at the end she was kind of like, oh, that's like really interesting. I didn't think of it like
I'm
that.
seeing it a different
And
way.
she was wonderful.
Yeah.
She was really receptive and everything. But
Cool.
in the end, she was just, her general consensus is that like CrossFit is too much for me right now, which is so unfortunate, because on the flip end, like that person is going amongst their way in life with a pizza on a Tuesday afternoon. I'm like, oh, like that's not health, like health is actually coming to the gym and being coached and learning how to do movement. And okay, you've dislocated your knee. Well, that's horrible. We're not going to start you with like heavy back squats, She's like, yeah, I want to strengthen the muscles like around my knee. I'm like, yeah, you definitely do. That's what we want to do in a very safe way, in a
controlled environment with
controlled, progressively
professional coaches.
Yeah. So anyways, that's where this topic of conversation was kind of inspired by. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how are we going to execute it today?
You tell them.
I'm going to drop you some, like, you don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to give you some misconceptions.
Yeah.
Some common misconceptions, let's say. Some of them may be deeper than others. Some of them lighter than others.
Cool.
And then you're going to give me your point of view.
All right. So you know them. I don't know them. Are you going to give your point of view as well?
It's like my personality that I can't help it.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to need some bounce back anyways.
I'm like, since I exited the womb, I've been giving my point of view. So I'm not going to stop today.
Okay.
Definitely not going to stop today.
So, I mean, I guess that's really like the overarching main one is like, do I need to be fit to start? It's like, absolutely not.
And that is probably like, if you could narrow it down to like the most common.
Most common, yeah.
It's that.
Yeah.
Okay, another one which I think fairly common. We'll start off easy. Everyone gets injured doing CrossFit.
Oh, that's a good one.
I feel like this is very something that even some of our members, I feel like, still have a little bit of a belief on.
Yeah.
It has to be dismantled.
The thing was like everyone gets injured doing CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing. We know from research out of all sports, all like many different like trainings and stuff, that CrossFit, and like tons of research on decades of sports, CrossFit is relatively new when it comes to sports, right? Like people have been running for centuries, like people have been doing, American football and, European football or soccer for many decades now, right? So there's a lot more research on this, but we know that the injury rate for CrossFit is below all of those sports.
Oh, yeah.
So we know that from a sport level, CrossFit is extremely low on the injury side of things.
I didn't even know that statistic.
Yeah,
Interesting.
It's quite low. I don't know the exact numbers.
Yeah. We're not giving real stats here, but just generally low.
Yeah, it's very, very low.
Okay, love it.
Case closed. It's our job as coaches to make sure that clients are progressing properly.
Right.
Meaning, that girl, for example, who has like a dislocated knee, if she did want to actually start CrossFit, we wouldn't be like, okay, we're going to build up to a heavy 1 rep max back squat.
Day one.
Like that would be really, really bad for her and really like not smart.
Right.
She would hurt herself. So as coaches, we have to make sure we understand what the clients or who the clients are in front of us and prescribe the appropriate workouts.
Right.
Now, in most CrossFit, there's what we call like GPP programming. So like general physical preparedness. That's what's on the board. That's what's prescribed. But where people, I think, miss the mark on here is that that's just a prescription for the day.
Starting point.
Yeah, starting point, but that's just a prescription for the day. And when I'm programming for the general public here,
right,
I'm thinking general. I'm thinking macro level. I'm not thinking micro level. This isn't one-on-one personal training.
Yeah.
So there is things that need to be scaled and need to be adjusted for each person.
Right.
So in that sense, well, you take that person who has a dislocated knee and you make them do potentially some squats down to a bench or to a high box and see what their range of motion is. And maybe for them, that feels really good. That allows their knee not to go into a deep range of motion. So this is taking, let's say, back squats or reverse lunges on the menu for the day. That's the prescription for the day. And then applying certain modifications for each client here. Right.
That's what I meant by like a starting point. Like the workout that's prescribed and written is the starting point. But there are hundreds of variations of that that can be applied to each unique person's needs.
Yeah, so there's that element of the injury prevention, right? Slowly progressing clients as well, right? And not having them progress too quickly. Oftentimes people do progress a little bit too fast, and that could potentially maybe lead to injuries. Or some people just are always chasing that PR, right? So they forget the value of technique and being consistent with that technique. So they just want intensity. So they add weight, and then their form starts to get sacrificed. So you have to really make sure that doesn't happen as well. And the last thing I was going to say here is that, injuries are going to happen no matter what in life. There's zero risk to anything, or there's 100% risk. Am I saying this right? There's a 0% chance of you not getting hurt in life. You're always going to have some little bobo or something that's going to happen. If you're very sedentary, that could be something like you getting out of bed and like pulling your back. Right. Or like, I was lifting lifting this box over in my house, or I was moving and I lifted this box and now I'm like bedridden for a week because I pulled something in my back.
Yeah. Like you're just walking down the street and you roll your ankle. Like things happen all the time.
That, yeah. I mean, I don't like this girl going on a hike, she dislocated her knee doing such like an innocent thing. I don't know her story, but how many times do people just go on nice hikes with your friends? I'm about to go on a hike this weekend with all my boys for a boys trip before cottage weekend. And like, we're going for a hike. And like, if that were to happen to someone, like that would be so horrendous. But those types of things happen, and you can't really control them. So CrossFit is, like you said, very controlled. We choose the dumbbell that we want to lift. We choose the weight we're going to put on the barbell. We choose whether we want to go or stop, right? Now, there's always going to be little injuries that happen. And along the way, sometimes people work muscles that I haven't worked in a long time.
Yeah, so it like wakes up some niggling.
Yeah, works up some things for sure. Like, or what tends to happen is their muscles get stronger than, let's say, their tendons or their joints are prepared to take, right? So there's like little things like that happen, I guess.
Yeah, and I think those like little injuries and then the recovery that goes along with them is like very much part of the journey.
Yeah.
And I think it's not something necessarily to be overly fearful of, because I would be much more afraid to lose shoulder mobility because I don't work out than to have like a bit of a shoulder rotator issue that I kind of have to nurse for a little while because I maybe overdid it this one section of my training, and now I have to do a bit of a extra rehabilitation, but at the end of all that I have stronger, more mobile shoulders that I can use much more effectively in my daily life. I mean, the risk and reward here is wild. Now, just like anything, we get in our cars every morning, things happen every day. Like, of course it's impossible to say that there are going to be no injuries, and accidents happen in the gym. Someone accidentally drops a plate and breaks a toe, like things like that. Yeah, we can be really mindful, but the reality is there's going to be accidents that happen anywhere and everywhere. And I think I really like the way you say that it's such a controlled environment here. So maybe people put a microscope on it to be like, oh, these people have injuries, but it's like, how many people do you know who don't work out who are complaining about their bad back and their bad knees and their bad shoulders? I'm like, probably a hell of a lot more than the ones inside my gym.
The health benefits are far outweigh the potential risk of injury, right?
100%.
Last thing I'll say on that, which is absolutely hilarious on that point here, is that there's the old video of Matt Frazier talking about working with Tom Brady's body coach. So if you guys don't know who Matt Frazier is, he's one of the OG CrossFit Games champions. He won 5 consecutive CrossFit Games in a row. Very popular. He's the owner of HWPO, Hard Work Pays Off. Anyways, he worked with Tom Brady, who hopefully you guys all know who Tom Brady is, the greatest quarterback or greatest football player to ever play. And he had a body coach who is well known, who would do body treatment and train Tom Brady, etc. So Matt Frazier worked with him for a little period of time, and that trainer was telling Matt Frazier, I forget how he worded it, but he was saying that like, oh, like what you do is easy, like it's not hard. And Matt Frazier was starting to get like annoyed by that. Like, what do you mean it's like not like it's easy, it's not like hard, you know? And then the trainer was saying, like, you know, in football you get hit by a 300-pound lineman and get drilled down to the ground, or that 300-pound is like those
you don't have
men
control.
are running at top speed to go and hit you at, you know, in positions you didn't even know they were coming from, and then they nail you, right?
And you're
and you wake up the next day and you're gonna be freaking sore. Versus what he was trying to express to Matt Frazier is like, you control what's on the barbell, you know, like no one's hitting you right now, right? So it's absolutely hilarious.
Like you're putting your body
watch.
consciously in these positions.
Exactly, yeah. Versus like in football, you're getting hit by these, you know, 6'5", 325-pound linemen who are just landing their entire body weight on you.
But like, how triggered would you be if someone was like,
yeah,
what you're doing is so easy? And you're like, I'm the best in the freaking world, bro. Shut your mouth.
So funny.
Sit down. Let me see you clean and jerk 400 pounds.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, that was a long one, but
I feel like that one was like so necessary though. And I feel like we could probably do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
Okay. One for the girlies.
For the girlies.
CrossFit will make women bulky.
Oh, my God. How much time do we have here?
Unpack it for us, babe.
There is no such thing as bulky, let's just say. You're either building muscle, maintaining it, or losing it. And we definitely do not want to be losing it.
No.
And I think the term bulky is like a very like
it's mean.
Common in the bodybuilding world, where this is where you just eat a lot of food and put on weight. And where people get this so wrong is that in order to get, like, let's say, quote unquote bulky, you need to be eating a lot of food and you're putting on a lot of fat at the same time. You're trying to be in a surplus of calories, meaning you're taking in a lot of calories and you're still hitting hard weight training sessions. And this allows you to build muscle as well. But where I think people still don't understand is it's so freaking hard to build muscle. And maybe that's one of the bigger misconceptions is that like you're gonna lift a barbell one time and you're just gonna it's kind of like a 2-part misconception. Number one is like, you're gonna like lift weights and you're gonna like turn into Arnold. And then the second misconception is probably I'm not losing weight, it's probably because I'm weight training and I'm putting on all this muscle, right? And it's like, building muscle takes a tremendous amount of really hard effort.
Right.
I'm not talking about like doing some curls at like 10 pounds here, or even going through the lunges yesterday. I'm talking about like you are grinding on those lunges. Like every rep is freaking hard, and you are like, you feel it the next day. Right. So there's a big difference between like putting on muscle and like feeling like your muscles are working. And a lot of, for sure, women, the first thing they say is like, oh, I'm lifting weights, like I don't want to get too bulky. But it's really hard to do that. Like people,
I just think that most people, it's not really gonna happen. I mean, like, it's not even a realistic concern.
I've been trying to get bulky for 13 years, and like,
you're looking fantastic, babe.
I put on some muscle.
There's a lot of muscle on those bones and not a lot of else.
And like, you know what I'll tell people is like, the easiest thing to change your body is actually to lose fat. Fat loss is
then it makes your muscles pop
way quicker and to lose, and also to put on, right? But muscle is not the same as fat. It takes a tremendous amount of effort. It takes a lot of like good eating around that as well. And yeah, so
most like average people who are even ultra fit average people are not going to be getting bulky. Like
I would say not even the average. I would say like 99% of people aren't going to get bulky. It's just,
I think like the 1% of some of the CrossFit Games athlete women, you know, like some of them are maybe what some people
see, like what
would
they're comparing to.
refer to as
Yeah.
bulky. But like, don't worry, babe. Going to group classes 6 times a week, even adding extra work outside those group classes 6 times a week, and taking protein and creatine every day, you're still not going to be like, unless CrossFit is your full-time job.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a concern.
You know, I'll also say this, and like,
And
for
bulky
sure,
is sexy.
if you're comparing, bulky could be sexy.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. I just don't think it's a proper term. That's what I want to kind
There's
of.
a lot about
the
it.
misconception of
Yeah,
bulkiness
you're right.
is
You're right.
like
You're right.
wrong, you know. So I'll also add a couple points to this. Number one, if you're comparing yourself to the videos of people at the CrossFit Games or at the top level of their sport, or even to actresses or even actors, right? Like think of like Hugh Jackman doing Wolverine, right? Like shredded.
That's how you look every morning, babe.
These people are getting paid to do this. That's number one. Number two, they're getting their body ready for a peak moment.
Yeah, and you're
like,
seeing
for example,
the peak.
Hugh Jackman doesn't walk around shredded like he is for Wolverine every single day, right?
Yeah.
Or Ryan Reynolds. They're not like massively cut, ripped 24/7, lean like you see them on screen, right? And then same thing for the CrossFit Games athletes. They're peaking for one weekend or maybe 2 or 3 weekends throughout the entire year. There's the open that they want to make sure they qualify, but for them that's relatively easy. Quarterfinals is the main one, so they want to make sure they're getting good quarterfinal workouts, but even then it's not super hard when you're at that level.
Right.
And then so semifinals is the big one because the semifinals gets them into the CrossFit Games, so they're peaking for that semifinal weekend or getting close to their peak. And then after that, they deload a little bit, and then they have about 2-ish months until they get to the CrossFit Games where that is their peak moment where they have to be the fittest they possibly can for the year. So they're not walking around necessarily at that exact body frame, at that exact fitness.
Yeah.
Actresses and actors, you're seeing like, you know, a 20-second clip of like them shredded in that moment. Number one, they're getting paid for it. Number two, they're peaking for that. That's not their daily thing. And then the last thing I'll say is if you've ever seen a CrossFit Games athlete in person, obviously everyone's in different shapes and sizes, but I'll definitely say that the screen makes them look a little bit bigger.
Yeah, they look like fridges on the screen, but when you meet them in real life, they're like pretty normal.
They're pretty normal
Just
people.
Like very well built normal people.
And like they freaking are so fit, and like when it's like 3, 2, 1 go
Impressive.
on a Metcon, you're like holy
wildly
shit.
impressive, but
like
a little bit less.
But when you're standing next to them, you're not like, yo, this person's mad bulky. Like this person's huge. Like I've stood next to CrossFit Games athletes, and I'm like, this person's tiny. Like this person is smaller than me. Like
They're
I'm looking
generally small though.
What's
CrossFitters
that?
are just like notoriously small, no?
Some
like size wise, I mean.
Like for sure, like body frames have changed over the years, but for sure, like like when like 10 years ago, like it was better to be a little bit shorter in CrossFit, and it was good to be like 5'6" ish. And now we're looking at men being around like 5'10" ish. You know, they're getting a little bit stronger. The taller people are getting better at moving their body through gymnastics and things like that. But yeah, like I've been around CrossFit Games athletes before, and I'm like, oh wow, like this person I thought was massively shredded and huge, and I'm like much bigger than them right now, and I'm just like a very, very average Joe person, you know?
You're not average, you're perfect.
Thanks, love. So yeah, that's what I'll say for the bulky. You're not going to lift weights and just like bulk up like that. Like if you want to bulk up, you have to be eating a shit ton of food, and you have to be training really, really, really freaking hard inside the gym.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing both of those things, you don't have to worry that you're going to just turn into like Arnold.
Yeah. Like almost, you know, when someone's like, oh, like I don't want to get bulky. I'm like, that's how dare you dismiss all the hard work that goes into this. Like you think you're just going to rock up and in 2 weeks you're going to look like freaking.
Yeah. I just want to tone. Well, it's like, okay, toning, what toning means is
Lose
you probably
fat.
want to lose fat. And
Yeah.
bulky means like,
Put
okay,
on muscle.
you want to put on like a lot of muscle, you know?
And a lot less fat.
But most people just want their muscles to show, and they just want there to be less fat on their bodies.
Yeah,
So,
eat well, come to CrossFit. We'll
Yeah.
take care of that for you. Don't got to worry about it, sis.
yeah, like just eat healthy foods, weight train, move your body, sleep well. You're going to absolutely smash that.
Come to CrossFit Max.
Yeah.
Okay.
Freaking bulky.
It's triggering, eh? You're like, okay, first of all, I've been trying to do that for my whole freaking life, so shut up.
This is me and Justin talk about this all the time.
Yeah. Okay, you got another one? You ready for another one?
Yeah.
Everyone in CrossFit is super competitive.
Ooh, good one. Okay,
Doesn't
let
apply
me
to
take
me.
this. Let me take this. Let me take this from the point of view from someone who's maybe starting CrossFit.
Yeah.
So when you start CrossFit, you're learning about, you know, tracking your results and writing your scores down and things like that. And whenever you're surrounded by people who are like generally pushing, which that's literally what happens inside a CrossFit gym, like people are trying to push to get every rep in, every like little weight that they can add. They're just trying to be better. That comes off like more of a competitive nature. But once you start to get to know the process and you start to get to know the people, you start to realize that you're not competing against other people. You're actually competing against yourself. You're just trying to be you're trying to walk out of here a better person than when you walked in.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get 1% better. And when you look at the back rack lunges from last week and you're like, okay, I did 85 pounds last week for my back rack lunges. This week, I want to try to get 90 pounds. That is starting to build a little bit of like that competitive drive from within.
From within, yeah.
So there is no like competitiveness necessarily with the person next to you as you get years into this, or as you build like friendships with people.
Yeah.
For sure there's like friendly little competitions, you know, shoot, like Malis got me on this workout.
Yeah,
you know?
like it's in fun with people that you've established that type of bond with. And you know, if it's somebody like in my case with Malis, you know, we're pretty good training partners, so we like to work out a lot together. We like to push each other. I'm cheering for her to be the best that she can be, just as much as cheering for the best that I can be. But at the same time, every once in a while we enjoy like racing each other in a workout because it's fun. It's not that deep. It's just fun because it adds a layer of, you know, digging a little bit deeper. And so really the goal is so that then we're both better for it and we enjoy it. But like, it's just for the fun of it.
Yeah. I'll use the Habs as an example. When we watched the Montreal Canadiens in the
hockey team for those
Eastern
of our
Conference
other
finals, we wanted, all Montreal folk wanted the Carolina Hurricanes to lose. We wanted them to play bad, right? That is a very like competitive sport. This team versus that team, this player versus this player. We want that team to suck and we want our team to win.
100%.
That's what we want. In CrossFit, it's the complete opposite. You want everyone around you to do as best as they can, because when the people around you push and do better, you will automatically increase your performance. You will do better. You will want to do better, and then you will want other people to do better as well.
100%.
So, yeah, I wouldn't say that there's like everyone is competitive in CrossFit. I think most of the people, I would say 90+% of people that come into CrossFit, maybe even higher than that, just want to be generally healthier. And then there are the few people that want to maybe do races like a High Rocks race or a half marathon or a marathon, or they want to sign up for a CrossFit competition.
But they're chasing their best.
Yeah.
They're not chasing beating the person next to them.
Exactly. So that brings like a competitiveness from within to be better.
Yeah.
Because even at that, all of the sports and all of the events that a CrossFitter would sign up for are solely responsible by your own performance.
Right.
Like in a high rocks, you can't control, like in a hockey, like there's a puck, right? You're both teams are fighting over a puck, right? In basketball, same thing. There's a ball that you're fighting over and you try to get it in the hoop. For running a marathon, you're not
your output.
You're not tackling the people next to you.
You
And
against
it's like,
the pavement.
yeah, it's like you and like how fast are you willing to get to that 42K mark, right? And like a high rocks, like from the start line to the finish line. In a CrossFit competition, how heavy can you lift a barbell, right? It's all you and dictated by your own performance.
100%. I think like the misconception of the competitiveness comes from things like, you know, writing down the scores of people on the whiteboard or having an application where we put the scores. And I think that interpretation is wrong. We write down our score because what we measure we can improve on and we can grow on. And we don't write down our score to see if we did more repetitions than the person beside us.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean that can't be a fun element for you and your friends to be like, oh my gosh, I did 5 rounds in the workout. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
But it's not about that.
No, it's not. Yeah.
It's never about that. Even like me, like I'm a very competitive person. Like if I play board games, I want to win. Like if I do something, I want to do my best. And like in CrossFit, I always want to like feel like, for me, competitiveness is like in my bones, but it's not competitive against you. Like we like to chirp each other because we have that relationship and it's established, but it's not about trying to beat you. It's trying to be like, I did my freaking best.
Yeah. And also just say that like there for sure, like everything we said is very normal for the average person coming in, but I'd also say that there is something good about competition.
Absolutely.
You know, like there is something good about having the people around you wanting to do more and better.
Push it, move the needle.
Like people.
That's what Malice yelled at me in the workout yesterday. Did you hear her?
She said, "Move
move the needle, Suzanne."
Yeah. So like there is this element of like people shy away from competition. And I don't know if that's because not as many people are playing sports, or people have, you know, in adulthood it's been so long since they've played sport. But that competitive drive as a kid to, you know, go through that process of like winners and losers and things like that, like it reaps so many rewards as you get older. And I'm not saying that CrossFit there's winners and losers in the class. There's none of that. Everyone is a winner. As soon as you walk through the doors,
you're a winner.
You're an automatic winner. But there is something to say that like competitiveness and competitive nature from within, these are all really excellent features to have that you would want to start doing if you don't have that, right? If you're scared of competition, or you're scared that someone lifting 5 pounds heavier is going to affect your day, then I would encourage you to just reflect on yourself and be like, don't you want to be that person who's like lifting 5 pounds heavier or pushing to get that last repetition in, or to come in and like want to improve and do their very best for the day? And I think most people would agree, like, yeah, that's the person I want to be. So competitive
100%.
Competitive nature and competitiveness come from within in CrossFit, but it is still good to have that that drive.
Yeah. And like, you know, I don't like being quote unquote beaten terribly in a workout where I think I could have done better. Like that is a driving force for me to not have that feeling, to not experience that feeling. But it's not like the bread and butter of CrossFit is just like trying to be my best athlete.
Exactly. Yeah.
And for me, a source of motivation sometimes is working out with being competitive with athletes who are like at my level, and that we often are, you know, one day it's me, one day it's them who has like a better score, let's say. Yeah. But it's really not like generally everybody walking in the doors and every score we put on the board, it's so that we're measuring our own progress.
I'll maybe end it with this one thing, that if anyone ever looks at your score and wants to beat it, or they ever be like, oh, I got you on that workout, you should take that as like the biggest compliment. Like, I remember when I used to start CrossFit, all the scores were on the whiteboard, and I would typically do the 4 p.m. So there'd be like multiple classes throughout the day, and I would start to recognize people and be like, oh, okay, like I know Francois, like he did the 12 p.m. class today, and he's pretty fit. Like, okay, he did 5 rounds in the AMRAP. Let me see if I can try to get as close as possible to 5, but knowing he's fitter than me, And then the moment I overtake him in a workout, a year later, I'm like, oh, wow, I beat Francois in a workout, And it's like those little moments where if anyone were to ever actually say that to you, you should,
No
like,
one's
it's pretty rare.
attacking you, but yeah.
But if anyone were to be like, what did that person do on the board? Like, you should take that as like the biggest compliment
ever.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, maybe one more, last one.
Okay, last one. Oh, so much pressure.
Last one.
Okay.
Those ones are pretty good.
I know they were really good. I have some others, but I'm trying to think of like the best one that I have.
Is there like a lighthearted one?
But I feel like it's not a fun one to end on.
Okay. All right. And end on one that's fun. Okay,
this one's boring. We talk about that all the time.
Boring. What was it?
Boring is like, I'm too old to start. Yeah, you're not. Okay, moving on. Next. Shut up. My mom's 67 and she just ran her first ever marathon. So.
And your pops just
Shut
turned
up.
68.
Okay. Let's go with CrossFit gyms are intimidating.
CrossFit gyms. Okay.
I feel like this is the only one where I'm like,
Valid.
well, that's your perspective of it. And that's a valid perspective because that was also my perspective before I actually learned what it's like.
I think
it's like those people who seem intimidating and then you get to know them and you're like, oh, they're so nice. It's like a CrossFit gym is that.
Yeah.
You build it up in your head,
this. No, I don't know if that is a misconception. I think it can be intimidating. I think it is intimidating. I mean, I am a more introverted person. I don't like to go into like new spaces that I don't know. Going into a new space, a new environment, period, is just intimidating for me. Like if you were to, and I've been to many gyms, and when we travel and we go into new gyms, like I'm already intimidated just to go into those gyms, and I've been in gyms for the last 20 years
and everything. Yeah.
So I've gone to so many different gyms, but walking into a CrossFit gym can be intimidating, especially if there's a class that's going on, because if you don't know what is CrossFit and you come into a gym and
music's pumping,
the music is loud, the coach is cheering for you, depending on what the athletes are actually doing,
throwing barbells,
like this kind of reminds me, there was a woman who had her daughter do personal training with one of our coaches here, and she came for the first time, and she's like, oh, I just want to see how the class, like, because I was telling her, I was like, well, you can do the class as well while your daughter is doing her personal training session. And she's like, oh, for the first time I just want to sit and watch. And I remember she sat and watched, and I remember thinking we had like handstands or something in the program, or we had wall walks, I think, in the program. We had wall walks and something else, and like, so if you're fresh, it was like really interesting, because I had that conversation with her after, and she's like, no, that is like so intimidating. And we had several older athletes in the class who were doing a modified version of the wall walk, and this mother's like relatively young, like she's late 30s, early 40s, like she's not like 50, 60-year-old woman. And so she sat there and watched, and she looks relatively healthy as well. She's lean and everything. Like, she's not unfit, and really shouldn't look unfit. And, in the class that I coached, I remember having like a big class. There was like 12 to 15 athletes in there, and I had so many people at different ages. And I had some people doing wall walks. I had some people just doing like a modified wall walk, and I had people lift. There was barbells in it as well, and I had some people doing empty barbells. I had some people doing 55 pounds, like nothing like really crazy. And I remember thinking like, oh wow, hopefully she saw these few people in the class, but she didn't.
No.
To her, she just saw an overarching of barbells, people getting inverted, and was like, whoa, like this is like
Scary.
Way too scary for
Ding,
me.
ding, 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 ding. Scared.
Loud music. Like,
yeah.
You know,
a big energy.
A lot of energy in the class. And that is intimidating if you don't know what the hell is going on. If I just tell you to walk into a room that's going to have like blasting music and like loud noise, like you're going to be intimidated.
Yeah.
But if you're in the class, if you're inside the group and then you go through a 60-minute session, you'll realize that it's not as intimidating as you thought it was, because the coach is probably going to introduce you to people. You're going to get to know people, and automatically you're going to start to tear down your walls a little bit. You're going to start to be like, oh, like these people are saying hello to me or shaking my hand or something like that.
These are just like regular people. These are not CrossFit Games athletes.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, like maybe I'm not the oldest one here. Like there are people that are older than me, or people that are, you know, at different parts of their journey, right? So you start to peel back those layers like slowly at the beginning. And then when we do either a strength component or a skill component, like you realize that we're slowly progressing through. We're probably doing drills and those things, right? And you haven't grabbed something heavy at all at this point, or done something that is so like extraordinary that you never thought you would do. Like there's a slow progression to everything, even on like handstands, for example. You know, like we don't just be like, all right, guys, everybody just kick up into a handstand walk or a handstand push-up. It's like, no, like there's drills to get people into that inverted position.
My class today working on the snatches didn't touch an actual weight other than a plastic pipe until like well in 20 minutes into the class.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing. Right. So you're looking at 20 to 25 minutes of just body weight and a PVC drill, right? Or PVC drills.
Like literally.
And then that new person goes and grabs something very light after.
Very light.
Yeah.
Very not scary. But I do like kind of agree that until you know that, it is intimidating.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think like even in the early days, when you do know that, it is intimidating.
Yeah.
Like you're still nervous because it's not a comfortable experience as an adult to feel awkward.
Yeah.
And so you're doing new movements which feel awkward in your body, which is an intimidating experience. You're meeting new people, which can be uncomfortable for some. Like you're trying things that you've never done before. Even just like you don't know where to stand. Where, you know, there's just like this whole learning curve that comes with the gym. You know, when we ask our members to go get a PVC for drills, they know to go into 2 rows. And you say that, but like if it's your first day, you're like, where do I stand? Oh my God, now I'm in the front. Shit. You know, like there's a whole experience of intimidating things that can happen. And so I do think that this misconception is one that is not really a misconception. It's true that CrossFit gyms can be intimidating, but that's because that's before you actually know what it is. And then once you come to learn what it is, you're like 6 months in, you're like, I can't believe I used to be scared to come here.
Yeah.
You know?
For the first like 2 or 3 months, I had butterflies before going to the gym and stuff. I used to poop
so much before the gym.
That's totally normal. But I would definitely say that the gym can be intimidating from the outside, but then slowly but surely the actual classes themselves are not too intimidating.
Right.
Like when you're in it, like anyone who is willing to learn and grow and work on themselves is going to be able to do it. Doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter the injury, doesn't matter if you dislocated your knee a month ago. Anyone who is willing to make that change in their life and, you know, work on that,
right,
will be able to do this. And it's not going to be too intimidating for you to get through. You're not going to have to like quit on day one because it was just like way, way, way beyond like your skill level. But definitely from an outside perspective, if you just sit at the door and you were to watch like in the middle of a group class, like the things that are going on, you might be thinking, well, that might be a little bit intimidating. Just like
Absolutely.
if you put anyone into an environment that they don't know, they've never been before, and
That's
there's
the
a lot of
thing.
noise and sounds, you're going to be very stimulated. You're going to be like, oh, I don't know.
Like, I think it's intimidating taking Tommy to his like swim class, you know? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah.
because it's
Until you're in the
unknown and
pool.
it's awkward and it's weird and
Yeah.
you don't know where to stand and you don't know who to talk to and
Yeah.
you feel like you're in high school and you're awkward again.
Yeah. Until you get in the pool and you're like, oh,
Oh.
it's not so bad.
And then like 2 weeks in, you're like, it's
Yeah.
fine. It's a
Yeah.
routine. You're
Yeah,
good.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully you guys got some good value from those misconceptions. I'm sure that, most people listening to this are indeed CrossFitters, and maybe this episode might be good for you to send to someone, because maybe you talk
You've
about
been
CrossFit.
telling this person.
Yeah, you've been talking about CrossFit all the
Yes.
time, and then you have friends and families and colleagues who bring up these things all the time on why they shouldn't start CrossFit.
Right.
And you're like, no, I swear, it's not intimidating. No, I swear, you don't have to be fit to start. So
you might be too old though.
you might be too old. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to end this episode the same way we always do, with client of the week. This client is officially
A legend
a legend. The first
ever
ever CrossFit
paying
Max
customer.
client to hit 750 classes at CrossFit Max.
Shoo!
And that client is Jason.
Jason Bucci.
I can say Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
Jason
Bucci.
Bucci, who is an
Absolute
OG
weapon.
client here.
Speaking of competitive, that's my fun
think-
competitive buddy.
I think if Jason had listened to this podcast 10 years ago,
He would be at the CrossFit Games.
he would be I think it would have resonated with him a lot, because some of the things that he talks about is, being scared to go into a new gym,
Yeah.
into a new environment. And Jason does come from a background of sport and
Athletics.
playing, doing the competitive stuff his whole life. So I think all of the things that maybe he was worried about when he started CrossFit, he's like, oh wow, like the community is welcoming. Oh wow, like the coach is teaching me how to move safely and well. And wow, like I'm finding that internal competitive and drive again, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, Jason's freaking awesome. He's
I
someone
wonder
that's...
how many days has CrossFit Max been open?
Well,
like
we're
how many?
literally almost at 4
like,
years.
4 years, so 300.
Was it 4 years to this day, my love? We're June 2nd on recording this. Was it June 1st that we got the keys to this place?
I think it might have been.
June 1st, it took us 3 months. Yeah, I think it was about June 1st, 4 years ago to this date, that we got the keys. Like, we signed, shook hands with our old landlord,
He was the best.
and had the keys to this place, which is quite a flashback.
Okay, but 365 days a year. Okay, but minus. No.
Times 4.
365 days a year times 4 years. Okay.
Is
But
how
then
much?
we've probably 1,460.
1,000. So
But then
just
we've probably
subtract
been
like
closed
90.
what?
Subtract 90 off of that. Like, we're 90 days or way
And then
less
for
than...
what? Christmas, we're closed for like what? We're closed 3 days a year, I think.
I think we
The
closed
day after our
3
Christmas
days.
party and then Christmas and New Year's are the only 3 days in the year.
Yeah.
So what is that? 3, 6, 9, 12. Minus 12. So the gym has been open 1,358 days, and Jason has been here for 750.
760 now.
760 classes, which means that
He's here almost every other day.
he's pretty much here.
And he didn't start right at the beginning, too.
Yeah, I
He
know.
started like a couple months in, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like
Yeah, Jason's here quite a bit.
Jason's way more than he's not
Yeah,
over the last 4 years.
yeah, which is pretty freaking cool.
And I love that for him and for me because I love seeing him. It makes me very happy.
Yeah, Jason's an awesome dude. I think he got into this more for like the mental health side of things, and I think that this has really helped him a lot. And, we've done reels and videos and podcasts with him, and if you haven't heard his story, go check out our podcast with Jason. You might have to scroll even further back, because that was probably a few months ago, maybe a year. I wonder if it's been almost a year since we had that episode with him. But anyways, great dude, Jason. Thank you for killing it, dude. Thank you for reaching 750
He's just so
classes.
kind, so welcoming, so dedicated.
Will he be the first member to also hit the 1,000 club.
I doubt anyone can catch him at this rate.
I don't know. We'll see.
Jason, start doing 2 a days, people.
Jason, here we go. 1,000 club. You're 240-ish classes away from being the first 1,000 club member at CrossFit Max.
I freaking love the dude.
All right, guys, thank you so much for joining today. Hopefully you guys got some good value. And like I said, maybe share this with someone. Share this with your friends, family, colleagues. Get the word out. Start focusing on your health. CrossFit can do that with the proper coach, a great program, and an even more amazing community behind you. So thank you for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next one. See ya.
Bye.